on the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield. Live from the Hyatt Regency, this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Authentic Brand. Elevate your everyday style with a premium label of choice. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank. Proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. Built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Hawkeye basketball looks to start a new winning streak on Wednesday when the Maryland Terrapins come to Iowa City. This is a veteran Maryland team featuring star senior point guard Jameer Young, who scored 19 in a loss to Michigan State yesterday. And then inside, they have a force in Julian Reese, who snared 12 rebounds, including 6 offensive, and blocked 3 shots against the Michigan State Spartans. The Hawkeyes were out-rebounded 2-1 by 7'3" Zach Edey in Purdue on Saturday afternoon over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. No embarrassment there. Edey, the reigning National Player of the Year, really plowed the stat sheet with 30 points, 18 rebounds, and leading the second-rated Boilermakers to an 84-70 victory over the Hawkeyes. Lance Jones, the grad transfer from Southern Illinois, added 17. And Purdue always has solid guard play. Braden Smith had 9 points, 9 assists. The Hawkeyes gave great effort. Iowa was paced by Tony Perkins, 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Perkins was percolating again for the home team. Tony recorded his 4th 20-point game of the season. Peyton Sanford added 16 points and 7 rebounds for the Hawks, who slipped to 11-7 overall, 3-4 in the Big Ten. Lots of basketball remaining starting Wednesday evening at the dinner bell. It's a 6 o'clock tip-off with our pregame coverage starting at 5. With former Hawkeye and NBA star Bobby Hansen alongside for the moment. I bid you good evening. Welcome to another 90 minutes of Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery, live from the beautifully remodeled Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. I'm Gary Dolphin. Coach will be joining us shortly. Bobby is here now. And also a little bit later in the show, Iowa's star forward and leading scorer Ben Krikke will put a headset on and visit with Bobby and I about his grad senior season as a Hawkeye. Ben is averaging 16.5 points, 5 rebounds. He has been a sparkling, consistent performer. Led the Missouri Valley Conference last year in scoring at 21 a game plus 7.5 rebounds. And those numbers have transferred nicely to the Big Ten. Bobby Hansen, you've played this schedule. You've played an 85-90 game schedule in the NBA, counting exhibition games. Every season, every game has its spurts of ebb and flow. The Hawkeyes led 18-14 Saturday, not quite halfway through the first half, when the Boilermakers exploded for a 19-2 run, led by 13 at the half. Stretched that advantage to 19 early in the second half before a furious Iowa rally chopped the deficit in half to 78-70 with a little under 4 minutes remaining when fatigue took over for the most part. Iowa, first off, lost Laji Dembele to an ankle sprain. Patrick McCaffrey was already missing his second straight game. That's a lot of size out of the lineup, and still a great effort by the Hawks. A season best 14,200 fans did their part to keep the team involved, but too much firepower and depth for the Boilermakers in the end.
Yeah, you could say so, Gary. No doubt. The Hawks got off to a good start. Came out firing. Peyton Sanford hit the opening 3 of the game, and then, as you mentioned, got to 18-14, and then the run hit the Hawkeyes right there at about the 13-minute mark, I guess, if you will. A couple of threes, 3 threes actually dropped for them during that 19-2 run, 14-0, then 19-2. But they fought. They kept going, Gary. Halftime score was 45-47 to 34. You're right there. Came out and got it going there in the second half and had a shot at the end. But a lot of minutes played by the guys. Coach McCaffrey talked about that afterwards, that he would like to have got some more subs in there, but those guys were cooking. Tony Perkins in particular was phenomenal. The Indianapolis kid playing against his home state school there in Purdue, and as good as I've seen Tony play in a long time. I love it when a guy attacks like that. He attacked Edey, he attacked whoever it was inside, Lance Jones, and he had a little one-on-one thing going out there. A lot of physical play in the basketball game, both by Jones and by Edey, and the guys coming in off the bench. But you got to play through it. I thought it was tough on Owen Freeman early. He got that first foul. We talked about it, and unfortunate foul. I didn't see the foul there. I saw Edey out of control, driving through bodies in there, and then the referee tried to become a coach there and explain to everybody what he saw.
Yeah, and back to Tony Perkins. Matt Painter mentioned Tony several times in our pregame visit. The perk, as he calls him, and he's quite a perk to have in your team. And he has really matured in every asset, every facet of the game, Bobby, both defensively and offensively. He had 5 rebounds. He had 4 assists. He always has 2 to 3 steals. He's rising up the charts in steals in Big Ten play, and he's just a thrill to watch.
Oh, he's fun. He's fun. Like I said, he's in the attack mode all the time and sort of been pressed into point guard duty. I would consider him a combo guard. Tony is, but he takes pride in both ends of the court of defense and on the offensive end. He can shoot the 3. He can shoot the pull-up. He can rebound for you, as you mentioned. Defensively, he's coming up with steals. He's got great anticipation. So yeah, he's a good one to have out there, number 11. I feel comfortable when the ball is in his hands.
I really like what I see with the guard play in general. Fran starts with Patrick on the shelf. He has started Josh Dix and Perkins in the guard court. Go big. And then come in with Harding and Desante Bowen. Talk about a change of pace. It's worked well for him.
Quick. Can bring that quickness in, no doubt about it. And Desante and Brock work well together. Brock is a flashy passer, and his shot is coming around. He's not afraid to penetrate in there, and they played well. They all did, Garrett. I think you learn something from these games. You played, number 4 Purdue, number 2 Purdue, whatever they are. They're tough. They're a tough team, and they expect to be back to get to the Final Four, I should say. But the Hawks gave them all they wanted, and what a crowd. You mentioned it early,
Great
Garrett.
crowd.
What a great crowd, and hats off to them, and hats off to the students who came out and filled the student section and really made it loud, made it a raucous environment, and that's what you need every game.
Hey, that's the way it should be every game, and hopefully it will be again on Wednesday. It's an early start, so please come on out. Tickets available at the gate. Bobby, Purdue ended up 12 more second chance points thanks to 19 offensive rebounds, 8 of those by Edey. This guy had 10 field goals and 10 made free throws. The All-American giant, 7'3", 300 pounds. He is such a difficult guard, and yet I thought Fran and the coach's game plan was solid. Flash 2 guys, 3 guys at him, bump him off stride, and get him in an uncomfortable mode, which is hard to do.
Absolutely, it's hard to do, and I played with a guy 7'4", Mark Eaton. He wasn't as skilled as big Zach Edey is with the hook shot or offensively around the basket, but he seemed to be their relief valve at times. He just kind of hangs out in the paint. I don't know if they don't call 3 seconds anymore or not, but looking at the replay of that yesterday, he was just kind of standing in there in the paint, and Lawyer got in trouble, Braden Smith got in trouble. They just lob it up to the front of the rim knowing that the big guy was there, but he's tough. There's no doubt about it, and you just got to battle him. And I saw all the Hawks in there trying to block him out, battling, trying to move him out of the paint in there. But he's just a big one, and that's a National Player of the Year for a reason.
Well, like Caitlin Clark with Iowa, when you have a threat like Zach Edey, you are one of the favorites for not only a Final Four but a national championship. I mean, at Purdue, and you know they're extra motivated since they were dumped out in the first round last year by a 16 seed. First time that's ever happened. But great coaching staff led by Matt Painter and a solid basketball team. And yet here the Hawks were down 78-70. I want to come back to that. Got 3 consecutive stops. So 3 possessions with the basketball, down 8, a chance to get it to 2 possessions with a 3. And, Lady Luck just not on the Hawks side.
Shots wouldn't drop, and a little bit of that is fatigue. When I rewatched the game in there, the shots came up a little bit short, but they had their opportunities. And then Lance Jones came in. I think it was an offensive rebound that they got, and he kicked it out, and Lance Jones hit a 3 to make it 81-70 at that point. It was inside of about 2.5 4.5 minutes in there. But, yeah, you had your shots, and you had good shots. You had good looks at it. I think Peyton had 2 of them. Josh Dix had the other one, and just didn't drop. Had those dropped, could have been a different outcome.
And I think that's what pleased Coach McCaffrey more than anything, or certainly pleased him a lot at the end of the game, is the Hawks. They never quit. They never put the bags away. They got after Purdue and just could not get a score in that final 3-minute stretch and lose it 84-70. Okay, the Hawkeyes have turned the page and their attention now to the Maryland Terrapins. No Zach Edey there, Bobby, but Julian Reese can be a force and a dominant player inside. He's pushing 6'10".
He's good. He's left-handed, too, and I've seen them play a couple of times. They have 3 players, Jameer Young, Donta Scott, and Julian Reese, who are the veterans of this team. Julian Reese seems to have gotten better. 3 of those guys combined for all 27 points Maryland scored yesterday in that come-from-behind. They were down 15 at home in the first half against Michigan State in their honor ode to Lefty Driesell game that they had there in College Park, Maryland. So they're tough. They're no doubt they got a really good coach there in Kevin Willard. He's been around the block. His father was a big-time coach. So going to have your hands full with these guys in there, no doubt about it. But you got to do the same things. You got to rebound the basketball, Gary. You got to rebound. You got to make some shots, and you got to defend that 3 because Donta Scott, a 3-point shooter. Jameer Young will take you off the dribble. A multi-level scorer he is to the basket, mid-range or 3-point shot for Jameer Young, as good as we have in the Big Ten there. And Julian Reese, we talked about the lefty inside, who very crafty. He's gotten better offensively, but all 3 of those guys combined for all the points scored by Maryland in the second half.
It'll be a hungry basketball team. They lost 72-69 at Northwestern before dropping that 2-point decision to Michigan State yesterday. I watched most of that second half. Nobody could score in the final 10 minutes. I mean, they were stuck in the late 40s, early 50s for the longest of time. And then Tom Izzo's team, as they do every year, made some plays defensively, rebounded, and got critical scores, got to the foul line. And Michigan State will come up later on the calendar for the Hawkeyes. But right now, all the talk's about Iowa and Maryland, and it will be for the next 90 minutes here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. So,
how about that score you talked about, Gary? Looking at the box here, the second half scoring, Maryland and Michigan State, 27-17.
It was painful to watch. I mean, I
was watching the women play. I'll be honest with you.
Okay, I was flipping back and forth, but I knew we were playing Maryland, so I wanted to see. I'm thinking, why am I watching this? This thing is brutal, and Tom Izzo was burying his face in his hands.
Yeah.
So was Kevin Willard. But it was, it's Big Ten basketball. It's physical. It grind it out. Just get it in the left-hand column. A W is a W. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for the Maryland Terrapins at home. But, we're not worried about either one, Michigan State or Maryland, like we weren't about Purdue on Saturday. Try and get as many W's as you can. The Hawks on Wednesday night will have played their 4th game at home in 5 outings, and then they head on the road for back-to-back games at Michigan and at Indiana. But that's them. This is now the Hawks in Maryland. It's an early game, 6 o'clock tip-off. 5 o'clock for the pregame coverage this Wednesday over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. We hope to see you there. Tonight we're at the Hyatt Regency. Thanks to Matt and the crew for hosting us, as always, each and every week over the winter. Great crowd here for Lisa Bluter's show previously from 6 to 7. And now we're here until 8:30 tonight. And a lot of the crowd has hung around. And the regulars for the Fran McCaffery Hawk Talk program have moved in. Great to see everybody here. You can join us for Hawk Talk at the Hyatt Regency Coralville Restaurant and watch the show live each week. They're offering a special food menu as well as new cocktails and a $3 draft special. Where can you find that these days? A $3 draft special. Come on down to the Hyatt Regency Coralville and join us for a great evening of Iowa basketball talk. The Iowa Association of County Conservation Board employees have certainly taken us up on that offer. They are here like 400 strong. Now, they're not all in the room with us right now, but a lot of them have come into the Hyatt today. The rest of them will arrive over the next 3 days. President is Matt Morris out of Butler County. Vice President is Kurt Cable from Dallas County over by Des Moines. And Josh Brandt is out of Cerro Gordo County, up in the Mason City neck of the woods. Special group of people, the Iowa Association of County Conservation Board employees, taking care of our wildlife, our wildflowers, and beyond all year long, not just in the wintertime. We'll step out, take our first break, and come back with us. By the way, we're entertaining your tweets, your Twitter questions, and Facebook posts throughout the evening. Please dial us up on Twitter at Gary Dolphin or on Facebook at facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. We're talking Iowa, Maryland. Ben Krikke joins us in just a few minutes. This is Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products, educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump, finding new uses for corn, and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more. To keep corn growing Iowa.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Iowa basketball coach Fran McCaffery. Fran will be joining us shortly. The Hawkeyes get ready to take on Maryland at the end of a very nice homestand, 4 games and 5 in the friendly confines. And Bobby mentioned it in our opening segment, but let me add to it. Can't thank you fans enough. 14,222 officially showed up on Saturday. Those Saturday afternoon games in the Big Ten, I mean, historically, I remember watching my first Iowa game back in the 60s when Don Nelson was playing for Iowa, and it started at 1 or 2 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon at the old field house. And Bobby, you remember the field house, what an atmosphere that was.
Oh, nothing like
when
it.
Lute Olson was recruiting you. And it's just incredible, though, the difference that a Saturday afternoon game makes. I don't care what league you're in. If you're playing on Saturday, everybody can come out and get home at a decent hour.
You know what, Gary, I thought about that yesterday when I saw Herky come out and the cheer squad come out, and then here come the Hawkeyes come out. Ben Krikke, the guy sitting next to us. It brought back memories of those Saturday afternoon games when we lived in the dorms. We, Ben may not believe this, but we had to live in the dorms all 4 years right there at Hillcrest. But you just walked over to the field house and you smelt the popcorn cooking when you walked in there. They burned it a little bit so you get a little smell going, and then you got ready to go. And the roar from the fans when you came out there was incredible. So I thought about that a lot Saturday at 1 o'clock when the teams came out.
Nothing new for Ben Krikke. Let's welcome Ben Krikke to the microphone. Iowa's outstanding leading scorer and sure to be all Big Ten at some level when the season ends, given good health and everything, averaging 16.5 points, 5-6 rebounds a game. I know the Missouri Valley, the oldest basketball conference in America, has played a ton of Saturday afternoon basketball. That had to be like old home week for you.
Sort of, about maybe 12,000 people less in the Valley. And I mean, obviously, like you said, a great basketball conference, and I had a lot of fun, playing for 4 years at Valpo. And we'd get our own little home crowd and home court advantage, and, students would come out, Saturday afternoon, get a little break from class and studying and all that stuff. So,
what did you think about Saturday's atmosphere? It was terrific.
It was awesome. And, I mean, I'd love to see more of that, for every conference game. And it was great to see the students out and rocking, and it really gave us a lift and helped give us some runs and build some momentum. Unfortunately, we couldn't finish it off, but super exciting crowd and home court advantage for us.
Ben Krikke averaged 21-7 last year at Valparaiso, a great basketball tradition at Valpo. And I asked you this early in the year. We're now 2/3 of the way almost through the season. What is different about the Big Ten? What are the obvious, but then maybe something that we wouldn't pick up?
Yeah, I think I'll start with, our team and just kind of our style of play. We play a lot faster than what I was used to at Valpo, so it took a little bit of adjustment, and I think the foreign trip, in the summer and the 10 official practices we had then really helped me kind of get adjusted to the speed of, our style and kind of running and gunning and getting the quick up and playing our transition game. So definitely that, and then just the size and the athleticism overall. The bigs are big. Obviously, playing Zach Edey the other day. I mean, you didn't have any guys like that in the Valley. And, I'd say top to bottom, probably a little bit more talent on every team.
Valley's a good basketball conference, so I mean, I've always watched it since I was a kid there growing up in Des Moines with Drake. But did you know that your game would translate as well as it has over here to Iowa?
I mean, I always have confidence in myself, and I try to convince myself that it's just basketball at the end of the day. And lucky for me, I have a big support system of people that help me make the transition from family to people at Valpo, and then the welcoming community here and coaches and everybody and teammates. So they help me with that transition. And I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, it's just basketball, out there having fun and try to make plays.
I liked you the first time I saw you play. I like how you moved, left-handed is smooth with the jump shot. You got that mid-range shot, and you really proved it, I think it was like game 3 over there at Creighton when you had an All-American, Ryan Kalkbrenner, chasing you around, but he didn't respect you, and you lit him up for, 27, 28 points with that mid-range jumper. That's kind of when we all kind of like, okay, this guy can play.
Yeah, I mean, we scouted them well, and we knew that Kalkbrenner would be in the drop, so that the short roll would be open, and I could make plays from that spot, whether it be pass or kick or drive or whatever, and obviously shooting. So I just took it. I was wide open, and that's a shot that I've worked on for years and years, and like to pride my game on that. So at the end of the day, just came in and started knocking them down.
And you showed you can shoot the 3 too.
Yeah.
Impressive.
That's also something I've been working on. And for me, I think it's just confidence and time and place and just making sure I'm shooting good ones. And coaches have been really encouraging about if I get it there, my legs are there, they go in, and my teammates have trusted me to continue to shoot them. So.
Talking with Ben Krikke, the Hawkeyes' outstanding forward, 6'9". Now they have you listed at 245 pounds. You're not 245, are you?
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah, actually.
I mean, you pack it well. You don't look 245.
No, I actually
look like 230.
No, I weighed in today in the weight room, and I was 248.
Oh, man, come on, start throwing that weight around. Yeah. Ben, you go back to the mid-range jumper, though. It wasn't too long ago. We were talking about how that's kind of a lost art at 15 to 17-footer. It's either three-point or pound it inside, get to the foul line. You've reintroduced it, and being a left-hander, that gives you a big advantage, I think.
I think it's a tough cover for a lot of bigs, whether, like I talked about, them being in drop, they don't necessarily expect that. And then for me, it's an easy shot. I don't need to drive in necessarily and try to play in a crowd. And, I've worked on that shot a lot. Eventually, it just kind of feels like a layup. And it feels like a pretty close-in shot when I'm, 15 feet in.
Bobby referenced the Creighton game. You were 11 of 18, shot 61% against a top 10 ranked team that night. Followed that up with a 10 for 14 night against Arkansas State. 8 for 10 against Seton Hall, who's having a terrific year. Yeah. My point in all this is the bigger the game, the more fired up you get. I guess any player would want to be that way.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, I try to keep it consistent with whoever we're playing, and obviously, bigger games, maybe I need to step up a little bit more, and maybe my teammates expect a little bit more of me. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to make open plays and make open shots.
I wish we had you for a few more years, too, Ben. We only get you for
I wish.
For 1 year. I bet you do, playing this style of basketball and the crowd that you're playing with. But where can this team improve? Talk about moving forward now.
You're talking this year? Or? Yeah. I'd say you got to shore up, defensive rotations. I think that'd be big for us. And then obviously, last game kind of showed that we need to be a little bit more competitive on the glass. And I think if we shore up those two things, we'll be right up there with everybody. And I think we already are. Offensively, we're one of the top offenses in the league, and we have a lot of, multiple threats. Tony had a great game last game, and Payne's been solid all year, and obviously Owen's been playing great too, and kind of coming into his own. So
talk about playing alongside a talented freshman there in Owen.
I mean, he's been great, since the day he walked on campus. Kind of preparing for that foreign trip. We had a lot of practice time, and we'd scrimmage and all that stuff. And I mean, he's a tough cover. He's very athletic, and he's a great defender too. He blocked a lot of my shots early, kind of as I was making that adjustment to more athletic, style play and stuff. So, I mean, he'll be great down the road, and he's already proven that he's a really good player.
So Wednesday night, we got the highest scoring team in the Big Ten at 86 points a game against the best defensive scoring team in the conference in Maryland. They're allowing 64 points a game. I mean, that's almost miraculous at this level in this league. Yeah. So they've got veteran guys on the perimeter, Big Julian in the middle. Give us a key or two in your mind. What's got to happen?
Well, we'll have to do a really good job on Young. I mean, he's coming in, and he's I think Coach has said it. He has over 2,300 points in his career, and he's a quick lefty. He's great finishing downhill and a solid shooter, and I mean, he's just an all-around really good player. So we got to do our best at limiting his production, and then obviously, like you said, with the big man Reese inside, we got to, whether it be send a double or just play solid on-ball defense, limit his production. I think, they have 3 or 4 guys who are putting up a lot of the numbers for them. So if we do a good job defensively on kind of their core, I think we'll have a great chance.
And nobody beyond their starting 5 scored points yesterday against Michigan State. Now, Michigan State will do that to you, but you're right. They play a lot of people, but the scoring is primarily done by the starting 5, and I'm sure that's not been lost on you. Donta Scott, Jameer Young, Reese, those are the 3 guys that have been around since, I think, the 1960s. I mean, every time Bobby and I go out there, or they come here, there's Jameer, there's Donta, and there's Julian Reese again. But, hey, let's stay out of foul trouble now.
Yep. Yeah.
You and Owen.
That's
got to be frustrating.
It's very frustrating. I think I had problems with that, Wisconsin and then Nebraska too. You pick up those quick 2 fouls early in the first half, and find yourself sitting and then trying to come in and make plays in the second half. It's tough. I mean, you got to find a rhythm and try to work around that. But obviously, ideally, you'd be on the floor for a little bit longer.
How about before we let you go? You got to be so happy. I know we are, Bobby and I, about Josh Dix and his, I mean, he's always been a solid player, but his scoring has finally gotten to where we thought it would be because he's such a great scorer in high school. That's a huge jump, a huge transition from high school to college, but you've got to be so happy for Josh.
Absolutely. And I mean, he's shown it every day in practice. So, you know, throughout the fall and you know, into the season, he's done the very same thing that he's doing in games, you know, in practice, and has been shooting it great. So I'm super excited for him and just happy that he's now able to do it in games and get a little bit more of extended minutes. And you know, obviously what he did at Minnesota was huge for us. He kind of took over there for a stretch and, you know, put the team on his back and kind of willed us to win. So super excited for him, and I know he's really excited too. And he's a worker. He's always in the gym. He's early to practice, you know, gets up early in the morning, and you know, the work's paying off.
What's the future hold for Ben Krikke? You want to be a professional basketball player?
Yeah. I've always kind of dreamed of playing professionally. I'm not sure where that will be yet, but yeah, that's always my goal. I'm trying to avoid the 9-to-5 and just keep doing what I love.
At all costs.
we can endorse that thought process. Now
play ball as long as you can.
Absolutely.
Exactly,
Keep balling. You're from Edmonton, Alberta, even though you came here from Valpo. Your dad was a high school coach, right?
Yeah, junior high. So,
junior high, okay.
Yeah, he coached me kind of growing up, and he took a little break when I was playing in high school and just decided to be a parent and watch me play. But yeah, he coached me, and he actually runs a basketball camp that I went to starting when I was 5. I think he's been running it for 25 years now.
Wow.
And that's kind of when I was introduced to the game, and we had a hoop outside growing up. So for the couple months of summer in Canada that we had, I was out there playing, and then when I was inside and you know, experiencing the blizzards like we have here right now.
This is Canadian weather, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Alberta. No hockey in your background?
Not really. I mean, we play recreationally. There's a bunch of rinks and stuff outside elementary schools all over town. So I'd play with some buddies, and I played a little bit of ball hockey for, I think it was just 1 or 2 years. And that was just, you know, without ice, just kind of running around. And I didn't like it as much.
Well, let's see you forechecking on Wednesday night, okay, with Julian Reese. Yep. And draw no whistles, but draw a lot of contact. Ben, thanks for coming by tonight. Really
Great job, Ben.
Ben Krikke, ladies and gentlemen, Hawkeye star forward. Our guest here on Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey. Fran has arrived. He'll join us after the break. Want to mention that Hawk Talk with Coach Lisa Bluter, presented by Oak Knoll, will be extended to 90 minutes next Tuesday. The Hawkeye men's basketball team will be in Bloomington, Indiana for their game. You can join us at the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville from 6 to 7:30. Following that, Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffrey will take place at the Hyatt Regency here from 7:30 to 8:30. So we'll be here from 7:30 to 8:30 following a 90-minute Lisa Bluter Hawk Talk. And then an hour with Coach McCaffrey. Fran will be participating remotely from Bloomington, and we'll get the latest from Fran on Coach McCaffrey and the Hawks and the Hoosier game. That's next week. Fran will join us here live at the Hyatt Regency next. We're sponsored by our friends at the Hyatt Regency. Thanks to Matt, General Manager. Matt does a great job, as does his entire staff, in hosting us. And we'll talk more Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey when we return. Tonight's Hawk Talk is sponsored by Bud Light, proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. And by U.S. Cellular, as a proud sponsor of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular, built for us. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corngrowsiowa.
Right now, you are not in the crowded Carver Hawkeye Arena, but you could be. You're not cheering a Hawkeye steal, fast break, and slam dunk, but you could be. Play the Hawkeye Gold scratch ticket, and you could win a VIP game day experience to see the Iowa men's basketball team. The Countdown to Carver promotion from the Iowa Lottery lets you be a part of the action. To enter your ticket and see details, visit ialottery.com/VIP.
Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery rolls along here from the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Welcome back, everybody. Thank you all for coming out here in person tonight, as well as tuning in on the Hawkeye Radio Network. We'll go to your Twitter and Facebook questions and comments shortly, but Coach McCaffrey is settling in with Bobby Hansen. I'm Gary Dolphin. And Fran, a quick review of the Purdue game Saturday. Great effort, great fight. You're within 3 possessions with 4 minutes to go, but you could see the guys had expended so much energy. I mean, both teams were gassed, but they had a difference maker in Edie, but yet I thought the effort was you had the ball, got 3 consecutive stops, just couldn't find the basket. There you go. Let me help you out here, Coach. Tangled up there with with the headset.
Ben left you tangled.
It's live. It's live. Got 3 consecutive stops with a chance to get it to 2 possessions.
Yeah.
Just wasn't meant to be.
The thing about that team, it's everybody talks about Edie, and as great as he is, they have a terrific team.
They do.
They have multiple 3-point shooters. They have a lot of size. They have more depth than pretty much anybody in college basketball, and they're all veterans. Every one of them is old. I mean, even Cam Heide, who's a freshman, he redshirted last year. So they play veteran guys, and what Matt's done a great job of is getting guys to understand their role. Take a guy like Ethan Morton, who's a starter on a number 1 seed, and now he's coming off the bench and playing 10 minutes and playing really hard, playing well, and all he cares about is winning. So, credit to them. I do think when we cut it to, it was 8 or I think it was cut it to 7. Peyton had a wide open 3. Tony drove it and kicked it to him. If that thing goes in, maybe it's a different game. But, we made some mistakes. We had that one stretch in the first half where we turned it over a few times, gave them some live ball, turnover, runouts, and they got a little bit of separation there. We didn't execute a few times coming out of timeouts. And we worked on that stuff today in practice. But, like you said, the guys were pretty gassed, so I didn't go to my bench as much as I normally do. I had that one group, with Josh and Tony and Ben. I thought they were really, and Peyton, they were connected. Owen got in foul trouble. That was unfortunate.
I didn't help, for sure.
Yeah, but I thought Lodgy was really good. And then, of course, he sprains his ankle. His defense in that game was probably the best we had in the post position.
5 rebounds.
Yeah, he had 5 rebounds in 12 minutes. A hard team to rebound against.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's unfortunate because we need to continue to get him more experience, and he probably won't play Wednesday.
That was my next question. Yeah. So, how about Patrick? I know that you got a lot
He's
of size
close.
missing with
he
Patrick.
Practiced today, not the whole time, but he looked pretty good. We need to get him back
for sure.
And then we need to get Evan Braun's ready. Evan had a really good practice today, so we'll get him ready.
And, Coach, talk about Purdue. Just back to them a little bit again. You may see them again in the Big Ten tournament. It's almost pick your poison. I mean, do you go one-on-one with Zach Edey? Do you double, triple him, and then you leave them outside shooters? I think that's what makes them so dangerous.
Well, I will tell you this. It's really a function of how the game's officiated. And I'm not, complaining about the officiating, but if they're going to call the kind of fouls that they did, it's going to be really hard to stop him.
Impossible.
The games that they've lost, the physicality was way, way more than it was Saturday.
And the first foul on Owen Freeman was like, wait a minute, he's driving into out-of-control pack of players.
And, and it was a good official, and he said, look, he came into him. I said, well, okay, he did, but he came into our guy first. He moved our guy first. Are we dealing with verticality or not? Because if it's verticality, that goes both ways.
Purdue kept showing you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Get your hand up there.
So that was unfortunate, but you learn from it. But you're right, because you got to be in, and protect him, the basket with him, and then you double. But then when you have that many different three-point shooters. But the thing they do a good job of, nobody talks about Kaufman Wren, Caleb First, Mason Gillis, those guys on the offensive glass. They are big, strong, physical guys. And their defense is spread out, trying to double or guard the three-point shooters or, contain Smith and then guard Edey. Those guys have a little bit more room to roam. And they fight you.
Hustle rebounds. Yeah. Mason Gillis.
Exactly. Very physical.
He got 2 or 3 of them in there, just digging them out, scrumming them out off the ground.
Same with Kaufman Wren, same with, with First. Nobody talks
Caleb
about
First.
him. There's a guy that, a highly recruited guy, and he plays 12 minutes. And
runs right to the front of the rim.
And just, he boxes you out for offensive rebounds. That's what he and Kaufman Wren do.
Gillis always whacks.
He shoots
50%. I mean, it's unbelievable.
50% from 3 on the season. Yeah, that's not bad.
They're deep, as you say, Coach.
Yeah,
that's a team that could be a Final Four team, no doubt.
Well, they expect to be, I think.
Yeah.
They're preseason one. They've been one probably most of the time. And if they're not one, they're in the top 5.
How about Braden Smith? 9 points, 9 assists. I mean, that's just spectacular.
Yeah.
Floor play.
Well, he plays 39 minutes. He has the ball all the time, and he's throwing the ball to the right people at the right time, and they all can shoot. So,
pretty good combination.
It's understandable that he would have those kinds of assist numbers. Really creative guy. But the thing about him is, he's not just a facilitator. He can shoot.
He can.
And so you got to be up on him, which enables him to kind of get by you sometimes. He's a tough guy to handle, especially because of the way they screen for him.
And the lawyer can pull the trigger from anywhere.
Lawyer's a shooter.
Yeah,
Jones was a great pickup out of the portal.
For sure. They got weapons.
We got one in Tony Perkins, though. I mean, he battled all
terrific.
Afternoon long.
He made very few mistakes, but you just got to let him go and let him compete. He was great in the open floor, and he was great against drop coverage. And he also was finding his teammates. He was special.
How about the young guy we had here? Well, he's a grad transfer. We'd love to have him for a couple more years.
Yeah, I wish I could coach him for more than 1 year. He's that special, not only as a player but as a person, as somebody in the locker room that commands the respect of everybody. He's constant motion, keeps moving, understands motion concepts the way we play. Really good in the up-tempo transition game, and seemingly never gets tired. He's in great shape.
Has he used his COVID year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's all used.
Yeah.
You checked that out early on.
Yeah.
Checking all the angles.
Yes, exactly. Just anywhere to find him. And we were talking with Ben about Josh Dix's emergence before we left for Minnesota. We were talking about the solid game he had in our last home game prior to Minnesota. And he had 16 in that game. He scores 21 at Minnesota, and got it going in the second half the other day against arguably one of the better defending and rebounding teams in the country.
Yeah, I want him to be aggressive all the time.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's so aware of what it takes to win, and he's effective as a point guard, as a post feeder in transition. He's very efficient. I mean, he doesn't hunt shots. He's not a guy that guy's constantly hunting shots. He's looking guys off. No, if you're open, he throws it to you. And if he's open, he shoots it. And if there's space, he drives it. Let's not overthink this game. If you do those three things at the right time, you'll be a really good player. And that's what he is. And I've said many times, the only thing he really needs is more minutes.
More minutes. And you're giving it to him.
Good defender, too.
Yeah, because he's never going to be a guy that's going to shoot 24 times. He's going to shoot 8 or 9 times, 7 or 8. He's going to drop some dimes, and he's going to play defense. He's going to rebound. Tough kid. Like I said last year, coming off a compound fracture, he didn't miss 1 minute of practice or 1 minute of the games.
Yeah, we forget about that sometimes. Yeah. Coach, the staff, you and the staff will be wearing suits with sneakers for Coaches versus Cancer Wednesday night against Maryland. That's a time and tradition, great fundraising mechanism, great publicity, great exposure for the cause against cancer.
Yeah, we started doing that many years ago, and then of course now a lot of us don't wear suits anymore. So the emphasis was, we're now going to wear suits on Suits and Sneakers weekend. It's actually Suits and Sneakers
Beautiful.
week. So a lot of times you play 2 games. Nike is really supportive of this cause, and they'll send us all shoes. So all the coaches will be wearing the same shoes. And it gives an opportunity to the games that are on television, the announcers, and then also the radio guys like yourselves to talk about it.
Sure.
So what are we trying to do? We're trying to create awareness, and we're also trying to raise money. One of the things that we didn't do when we first started doing Coaches Suits and Sneakers Week was we really didn't do anything to monetize it. It was just strictly
exposure,
awareness. Yeah, okay, look at what the coaches are doing, and then the TV people talk about it, and it was like, okay, and then create awareness, maybe, you get a colonoscopy, you get a mammogram, something like that. But as you know, like the V Foundation for Jimmy V Week, Dick Vitale has done a fabulous job of monetizing that week and creating opportunities to raise money for the American Cancer Society. And so that's what we've tried to do in recent years, to sort of reinvent Coaches for Suits and Sneakers Weekend, benefiting Coaches versus Cancer. Because it's a separate entity from the V Foundation, but it's all for the same cause. I mean, the thing about the V Foundation is it's for pediatric cancer. Like that's Dick's thing. It's pediatric cancer. Coaches versus Cancer is for everybody.
Stead Family Children's Hospital certainly benefits from all those efforts too that you and Margaret and everybody.
Well, I think it's also the whole comprehensive cancer center.
Absolutely, yes, indeed.
Hey, Coach, talk about AYA a little bit. You educated me, I think, last year or the year before on that gap in there between pediatric and adult cancer.
Well, when Patrick got cancer, Dr. Wiener, who runs the Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, met with us, with Dr. Vias, and said, will you help us create awareness and raise money for our new AYA program? Because we just instituted it that year, so it was like 2014, 2015, in that range. Okay. We were the second hospital in the Midwest to institute a program for that purpose. And AYA is adolescent young adult cancer. So the reason for that is, and they were just beginning to really try to analyze and study why cancer patients in that age group, 13 to 31, were not having the same outcomes as pediatric cancer patients and adult cancer patients. So the same person, a 6-year-old would get cancer and survive, and a 56-year-old would survive, and a 16-year-old would die. Okay, well, we got to figure out why that is. And so all the work that Margaret and I do with our gala each year is to benefit the AYA program at the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics. And the important thing for us was that those folks that came to our event, that come to our event, know and understand that money is staying right here. because like my good friend Matt Mauser always says, you never know when you're going to be the beneficiary of your own philanthropy.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
You might need all of a sudden, like I've said many times, I mean, I was involved with Coach First Cancer long before Patrick ever got cancer. And I've spoken at events in North Carolina and New York and all kinds of different places. I've been in Nashville, Tennessee, never knowing that my own child was going to get cancer. Thankfully, we have all the best there is to offer in terms of treatment right here in our city.
Sure.
It's not, okay, we have to go to St. Jude's or Sloan Kettering in New York. St. Jude's, I guess, is in Memphis, or Mayo. Mayo's not that far, but it's nice to be able to go right here.
Yeah, 2 blocks or 3 blocks over.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, Dance Marathon is fast approaching. Wonderful student body will be raising well over $1 million again. So look for the coaches in their suits and sneakers come Wednesday night and the rest of this week. The Hawks go to Michigan this weekend. Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey live from the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Come on out each and every week for Hawk Talk with Coach Fran, with Bobby Hansen. Attention, Hawk fans who buy your own health insurance. Wellmark is on your side and on the health insurance marketplace. Let's give it up for plans you can afford. Check out wellmark.com/hoops and compare plans. When we come back from our next break, we'll go right to Twitter and Facebook. We've got a lot of good fodder there tonight, a lot of good questions and comments for Coach McCaffrey. The Hawkeyes and Maryland tip off at 6 o'clock Wednesday night. Our pregame coverage starts at 5 here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from the Hyatt Regency and Learfield.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
We're back with Hawk Talk and Coach McCaffrey from the Hyatt Regency live in the Iowa River Landing. The weather a little bit more favorable than it was a week ago, with the winds howling at 40 mph and the wind chill down well below 20, 30, minus 30 last weekend. But it's winter. It's January in Iowa, and we're glad you can join us. And Hawkeye basketball will be red hot Wednesday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena. We'd love to see another crowd like Saturdays out there for that early tip-off at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock for the pregame coverage here on the Hawkeye Radio Network. Want to mention the University of Iowa Department of Athletics will host a special news conference tomorrow to officially introduce Beth Getz as our next Director of Athletics. I have the privilege of anchoring live coverage from Carver Hawkeye Arena beginning at 2:30 tomorrow afternoon on most of our network affiliates, like WHO in Des Moines, WMT in Cedar Rapids, and KXIC right here in Iowa City. Our coverage will also be available on the Varsity Network app and the official YouTube channel of the Hawkeyes, so you can watch not only Beth's opening remarks, but we'll do a special interview with her as soon as the press conference is over. And I bring that up because, Fran, I know you're a big supporter of who Beth is, what she brings to the table, and the job she's done as an interim AD.
Yeah, she's terrific in every way, and that's a difficult job. You have to bring a wealth of experience, the right personality, and I think the correct vision for not only certainly our program, but the entire athletic department. There's just so many things that come across her desk, and she handles it beautifully. I said this the other day at a press conference. The thing that has really impressed me about her, because I've met with her quite a bit, of course, and she spent her time doing the job, not, I got to do what I got to do to get the job, and I really respect that about her. And she met individually with all of us, and really, I just really grinded from the minute she was named interim, whether it be, because that was in the summertime, so she was out on the I-Club circuit, and we did functions over in the Quad Cities, and then obviously you go right into football, and you think about the women's basketball game at Kinnick and what that meant, and our program. But then there's so many things that happen that you have to deal with, whether it be the changing NIL transfer portal situation that affects all of us, or the crazy gambling thing that only involved 2 programs out of the entire United States of America.
In the country, not just the state of Iowa.
Yeah, maybe on planet Earth. Okay, let's target 26 people. They're the reason we all have problems.
The only ones who gamble.
The only ones.
The only ones.
And take them out back and shoot them.
Well, she handled that whole situation well.
Yeah, there's so much that comes her way, and she just handles it in an incredibly professional way, and you always feel supported by her and her staff.
And a former high-level student athlete.
Yeah, and coach.
And coach.
So you talk about really understanding what it is that we do and how to help us do it, because she sat in that chair. A lot of times, people think they know, but until they sit in that chair, they don't know. She knows.
Beth joined the Iowa family in September of 2022 when Gary Barta announced his retirement. Then last August 1st, she became interim athletic director. Iowa launched a national search, and really the best candidate was right here on campus for a number of months.
I really think that when Beth was hired, it was with that in mind.
For sure. For sure.
This is not an assistant AD person.
No,
but what was great for her was to be able to be here for a year and learn the ins and outs of what it's like to be in the state of Iowa, at the University of Iowa, in the Big Ten. Of course, she'd been in the Big Ten before.
Minnesota.
She was in Minnesota. She was the interim AD there.
Ball State. She did a great job there at 19 sports.
And
UConn
head
as well.
athletic director.
UConn.
She was at UConn, which is a basketball power. So she really understands it.
Yeah, she does. She's been a chief operating officer, senior women's administrator at the University of Connecticut. Obviously has been around the block. So we'll look forward to that press conference tomorrow.
Absolutely.
With Beth.
We'll all be there.
Yes, indeed. Look forward to it. We're at the top of the hour. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield and the Hyatt Regency. 10-second ID break back after our stations identify themselves. Yeah, let's go to Twitter and Facebook, Coach. Interestingly enough, Cindy says, how does Coach feel about storming the courts? I know Matt Painter spoke about this a few weeks ago, and now Lisa Bluter. It was a real scary scene yesterday. Thankfully, Caitlin Clark was okay after getting knocked down trying to get off the floor at Ohio State.
Yeah, Dolph, I have a pretty simple outlook on that. I don't get overly emotional one way or the other. Ironically, last week, all the writers were asking me, we're going to put the students closer to the court. Well, what do you think they're going to do if you put them closer to the court? They're going to run on the court.
out on there.
Okay? So it's really simple. Either you say, we're okay with it, or we're not going to allow it. There's no in between. For sure. If we're going to allow it, then don't complain about it. It was unfortunate what happened with Caitlin. But as I said, she's as tough as they come. She's only going to get 45, but she might get 47 next game. She got up. She was fine. Yeah, maybe she got the wind knocked out of her, but it's inevitable. Think about it, Doll. If you go back years ago, you and I are old enough. It was you're always tearing a goalpost down, right?
For sure.
Until it snapped and hit the guy in the head.
Hit somebody in the head, yeah.
Oh, maybe we shouldn't do that. When I was in college, we used to tear the goalpost down, carry it down the street, and throw it in the Schuylkill River. That was like
Philly.
Yeah, Philly. Like, stop traffic.
Who's going to retrieve that?
Yeah, there's a bunch of goalposts in the Schuylkill River, right?
Maybe a body connected
from Franklin Field.
Pull it out.
So, it's like, I think you do have to maybe figure something out in terms of safety. We were talking about it today. Okay, depending upon what the score is. I mean, if it's a buzzer beater, you remember Kristen Watford hits that shot and they beat Indiana.
Absolutely.
And it's mayhem. But, is it a 7-point game? Can you stop the clock with 2 seconds, get the team off the floor, and let them run on the floor if they want to? But you have to get the opposing team to the locker room. For sure. Because it's always the home team that storms the court, right?
Yeah. They're in no danger.
Yeah. So figure out a way to get that team off the floor. They let their guard down for a minute, and Caitlin knew, like, I'm trying to get there quickly. She took off running.
She's sprinting.
Yeah, she's sprinting, and that was unfortunate. But
at Illinois last year, I mean, we got stormed and came over the top of us and about killed Corey over there and broke his headset. And Chris Murray, I think, got...
Well, Chris missed the last shot, and I went right to him because I knew he'd be sad about that. That was actually 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I just went to hug him and say, man, great shot. Make it the next time. We love you. Because, you missed the last shot, you feel terrible. Like, you cost us the game. It's like one play in the game. We were down, and he and Keegan and Connor and I forget who else was involved, but those are the guys that brought us back. I think it was J-Bo. And, so you just care about your kids in that moment, and then sort of the hockey handshake line is out the window. Mm-hmm. Actually, we still tried to do it.
Yeah.
But the players were losing their minds. And, I get it. Because that day, they clinched the regular season championship.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's what it was. That's why they did it. Yeah.
They're just
a great game,
Iowa.
great finish.
Yeah.
The Hawks, great effort on the road down at the State Farm Center.
Yeah, it broke our headsets. We got some new ones.
Yeah. You needed new ones.
Yeah, well, we needed new ones. So it was a setup. Yeah. But they didn't have to climb over the table and run over us. So
threw a phone at me. About had a new phone, but
all right, we're going to take a break. Come back with more on Hawk Talk. We've got a U.S. Bank scoreboard next too, as we continue our Hawk Talk with Coach Coach McCaffrey. We're sponsored tonight by Authentic Brands. Submit an interesting question for Coach Fran each week via Twitter or Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. And you could win a Hawkeye gear prize package from Authentic Brand. Perry Strong is Authentic Brand. Clark Fessler and the crew over at Perry. We're thinking about Perry tonight and for many weeks after that tragedy that took place in the junior and senior high school. And we'll pick a winner between now and 8:30 tonight. More Hawk Talk from the Hyatt Regency coming up from Learfield.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. While farmers work hard to grow the best crop, their Iowa corn checkoff investments are hard at work too. Opening local and global markets for corn and corn-fed products. Educating drivers on unleaded 88 as the best fuel at the pump. Finding new uses for corn and sharing the farmer's story. Iowa corn farmers are backed by researchers, educators, market experts, and more. To keep corn growing Iowa.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
Hawkeye basketball on Wednesday night. Iowa, Maryland at 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock for the pregame show with yours truly, Gary Dolphin and Bobby Hansen. You'll hear from Coach McCaffrey. We'll hear from the Maryland coaching staff as the Hawks at 3-4 in the Big Ten. Maryland at 3-5. Each team has won 11 times. Iowa 11-7. Maryland 11-8. So a lot at stake in the standings, and we're going to be able to say that every night out going forward as we approach the halfway mark of the Big Ten. Right now, let's stop and look around the country. Our U.S. Bank scoreboard update is courtesy of our friends at U.S. Bank, longtime supporters of Hawkeye basketball. Nothing going on in the Big Ten tonight. We do have a final. Number 3 North Carolina ran away from Wake Forest and won at 85-64. The Tar Heels, ranked number 3, defeat Wake Forest 85-64 in the ACC. And just about to tip off down in Lawrence, Kansas, 7th-ranked Kansas is entertaining the Cincinnati Bearcats at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. The Hawkeye women are off until Saturday. They'll entertain Nebraska over at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And, of course, the Hawkeye men will be at Michigan on Saturday, but work to be done before that. The Maryland Terrapins come to town on Wednesday night. We'll talk with Coach McCaffrey more about that. Just a programming update Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter, presented by Oak Knoll, will be extended to 90 minutes next Tuesday as the Iowa men's basketball team heads to Bloomington, Indiana for their game with the Hoosiers. So you can join us at the Hyatt Regency here in Coralville from 6 until 7:30 for Hawk Talk with Lisa Bluter. And then after that, Bobby and I will be here at the Hyatt. Coach McCaffrey will be in Bloomington at the team hotel. And from 7:30 until 8:30, 7:30 to 8:30 for 60 minutes, we'll talk with Fran and talk about what's at stake with the Indiana Hoosiers next week. That's just a programming reminder for next Tuesday night. Not Monday night, but Tuesday night. Both Hawk Talk men's and women's programs back here at the Hyatt Regency. We'll take a time out here and come back with more of your tweets and Facebook posts next as we count it down to Maryland over at Carver Hawkeye Arena Wednesday night. This is Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oakknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/corn grows Iowa.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Contractors, you're busier than ever this fall, but you've got this with high-quality building materials from Spahn & Rose, like GAF. Use the Spahn & Rose Visualizer to plan the perfect roof and blend an elegant architectural look with exceptional performance. GAF, we protect what matters the most. With several Spahn & Rose locations nearby, you can focus on life's other important things this fall. Spahn & Rose, buy easier, build better.
When it comes to your health, you need the full picture. That means the right diagnosis and the right treatment right from the start. I'm Aaron Bose, pediatric neurologist with the University of Iowa Healthcare. Here, we're working together every day to advance medicine so you can get the best care. With more research, more clinical trials, and more treatment options than anywhere else in the state, the University of Iowa Healthcare is changing medicine and changing lives. Learn more at uihc.org.
That's right. Hey, we're back. Hawk Talk, live from the Hyatt Regency in the Iowa River Landing in Coralville. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. Coach McCaffrey is here for the next 20 minutes taking your questions or comments on Twitter or on Facebook. On Twitter at Gary Dolphin, on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Eugene checks in on Twitter. Coach, is there a player or two who has risen to the top as a go-to player across 17, 18 games? Well, there's a couple that have
we have a couple guys. Obviously, we go to Tony, and Peyton, Patrick.
Owen Freeman has been terrific.
We've run stuff for Josh Dix.
He's coming on.
If you think about the Minnesota game, he was cooking. We were going to him.
21 points.
And that was a go-to situation. And I think in time we'll run stuff for for those other guys like Price and Lodgy and Brock Harding.
It's great to see Price hit that corner three the other day. Hopefully,
a shot of confidence for him.
Worlds for his confidence.
Yeah, you know, I probably needed to throw him in there in the second half, but I went with that group that was cooking there, and some of those guys didn't get as much playing time, and that always bothers me. But
only so many minutes.
Yeah, you know, I kept you know, those TV timeouts are long, and they go, oh, we're fine. You know?
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Eugene. Aaron, Coach, I was at the game Saturday. Great effort. Loved how you took control. Purdue, obviously, with a great comeback. How do you get that same kind of early energy going against Maryland, and how do you sustain it for the entirety of the game?
Well, I think that's typically why, what we were just talking about, how you use your bench and have fresh bodies. You always want to start quickly, especially with a crowd like we had on Saturday. And a lot of times, Dolph, as you know, it starts with the defensive intensity and effort, because that'll enable you to get out and run, maybe get some easy baskets. But, you know, it's when you're getting consecutive stops. That's what the key is.
Yeah, and you got 3 consecutive stops at 78-70, so you know the effort was still there. Yeah. Jeff was at the game. We go to facebook.com/Voice of the Hawks. Jeff says, Coach, I attended the game Saturday. To me, Edey gets away with a lot. In my humble opinion, he gets away with a lot of pushing and shoving. Do Big Ten officials ignore this because of his size, or am I missing something? Thank you, and go Hawks. Well, he's a great player.
Jeff is actually an intelligent guy. He is a smart guy. Jeff, your eyes were not deceiving you at all. And you make an interesting observation. One that I'm not allowed to make.
Yeah. Bobby and I were
so I'll let you make it, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the call.
Appreciate the call. I hope he gets the
check-in.
He gets
the authentic brand package.
He gets the authentic brand package.
Hey, it's your
not
show.
Even close.
It's your show.
Jeff's the winner.
Well, when you rewatched it, Dolph, I mean, the guy never left the lane. I mean, the foot was always in the lane. He goes from this side to that side, and then they throw it to the front of the rim, and there he is.
But the great players in this league, I don't want to say protecting them, the officials. The officials know who the great players are in the league.
Yeah,
they knew who Luka Garza was.
Truthfully, I think we all understand that. I would argue that Luka didn't get the same protection.
Okay.
But he did get some. You know, Keegan, I mean, you know, certain guys.
Yeah.
And they should. You know, like DJ Carson said, he's not going to put a foul on a guy, 30 seconds into the game on a bump.
True, good point.
The guys like him, they just get it.
Yeah.
You know, they know why the people are there. They know what the announcers are talking about. So you just let those guys and trust those guys to make those decisions.
I love Owen because he's a yearling. He runs around. He's got so much energy.
And you know, and he's a little handsy, defensively.
He'll learn.
And that he's got to use his body more, especially his lower half. And, you know, when you're guarding a guy that's 285, 290, you got to use your lower half.
Well, he really got frustrated with Dawson Garcia up in Minnesota. We're on the plane afterwards. He goes, Dolph, those weren't all fouls. I go, I didn't think any of them were fouls, Owen. But
some guys are really good at selling it.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to be careful with that. And you hope that the officials, we got an experienced group of officials in our league that don't usually fall for that.
True. Well, Aaron, congratulations. You are Coach McCaffrey.
And chosen
pick for the Authentic Brand merch pack tonight. Aaron checked in on Twitter. Thanks to Authentic Brand for the Hawkeye Gear Prize package. Authentic Brand is a proud partner, not only outfitting our broadcast crew, but outfitting thousands of fans on game day. Gear up for game day and every day in officially licensed Hawkeye apparel and accessories from Authentic Brand. We'll come back and wind down our tonight's Hawk Talk show with Coach McCaffrey from Learfield in just a minute.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
To anyone passing through our state, fields and fields of corn might be what they see. But the people who call Iowa home know it's so much more. Corn is ethanol, a homegrown, renewable fuel. Corn is delicious pork, beef, poultry, and dairy. Corn is in 4,000 products we rely on every day. So yeah, our highway views are full of corn, and we're proud of it. Because corn grows Iowa. Show your support for Iowa corn farmers at iowacorn.org/fan of corn.
I'm Ingrid Lizarraga, breast surgeon at the University of Iowa Holden Comprehensive Cancer Center, the state's only NCI-designated cancer center. Here, we look beyond just the type of cancer you have to discover the molecular details of the disease. We have teams dedicated to each cancer type, with treatments and trials you won't find anywhere else in Iowa. Go to uihc.org/cancer.
If you've got the right tools and the friendly people at U.S. Bank in your corner, making smarter money choices is a piece of cake. If only our tools and helpful advisors could have helped you avoid some of those not-so-smart choices in life. Like that time you tried to pick up unicycling.
Whoa, coming through!
Or when you thought it'd be okay to pet that squirrel in the park.
Good squirrel, good squirrel.
While we can't help you with all that, we can help you bank smartly at usbank.com/smarter together. Member FDIC.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy. Some restrictions apply.
Our mission at Oak Knoll is to provide exceptional retirement living and health services through life care. I'm Steve Rowe, CEO. We are a not-for-profit life plan community and have served the Iowa City area for 57 years. Oak Knoll is located near University of Iowa hospitals and clinics, Kinnick Stadium, Carver Hawkeye Arena, Hancher Auditorium, and downtown Iowa City. Visit our website at oaknoll.com to learn more. We're a proud sponsor of Hawkeye Athletics. Go Hawks!
Yes, indeed. Go Hawks. The Hawks go up against Maryland Wednesday night at Carver Hawkeye Arena as Iowa looks to get back to 500 in the always tough Big Ten Conference. Pregame coverage starts at 5 o'clock. The tip-off at 6. Welcome back to Hawk Talk. Our remaining moments with Coach Fran McCaffery. Ken checks in, coach on Facebook.com/Voice of the Hawkeyes. Ken says, Coach, what did you learn from your recent games that you can apply to in improvement going forward?
Yeah, we just have to be a little more consistent, especially at the defensive end. Our execution, when we did try to run some set action coming out of timeouts, was okay. It needs to be better. And obviously we got to rebound better. You know, we rebounded okay until Saturday. That rebounding effort is not going to get it done.
And he might not be Zach Edey, but Julian Reese had 12 rebounds the other day. I think half of them were offensive.
Well, he's really
Michigan
bouncy,
State.
and he's really long.
He can block shots, too.
He's like 6'9". He's only 6'9", but he is like a 7'5", 7'6" wingspan, and he's bouncy, and he's left-handed. So those guys are hard to guard in the paint. Yeah, he's got some stuff.
He does, averaging a double-double, 13 points, 10 rebounds. Jameer Young, Donta Scott, there's a Philly guy.
Well, Jameer Young,
they've been around forever.
Well, he's played more games at Maryland than anybody ever, so you're not wrong. But
fifth-year guy.
But Young, he's second in college basketball in total points. He's got over 2,300 points. He is a walking bucket, and he's quick and crafty. So, he's got to have the attention of everybody. And like you said, Scott, he's their leading three-point shooter, veteran guy, kind of a three-level scorer, three-point shooter. He can post up, kind of dribble to post and shoot a little jump hook.
Great free throw
crafty
shooter.
Dude, yeah.
You know, Coach, I've always loved him. He's 6'8", about 230. I mean, he's got that big-time body.
He's way more athletic than you think. And you look at him.
And he can play three levels, to your point.
Yeah.
How about Jordan Geronimo?
Yeah, what's he brought from Indiana?
Well, you remember what he was like.
Well, remember he was at Indiana.
He was a phenomenal athlete, tough guy, relentless worker, energy guy. You know, really attacks the offensive glass, really defends. Good fit for that team.
And this freshman that they play a lot, young Deshaun Harris-Smith, a freshman out of Woodbridge, Virginia. That's a basketball hotbed.
Yeah, good player. Really defends, plays with great energy. Really physical, like great size, like 6'5". Does not look like a freshman, not built like a freshman, and doesn't play like a freshman.
Coach, they don't, at least numbers-wise, I've seen a few games on television. Coach doesn't play a lot of guys. They're not real deep, are they?
Well, he likes the freshman kid Kaiser. He plays a bachelor kid. Swanton Roger is kind of the backup 5.
Long shoots threes, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's a veteran guy. He'll shoot some threes, but he's also the backup point, so he gets everybody involved. He knows how to play.
Seton Hall kid, yeah.
Yeah, smart, tough, veteran, great guy to have coming off the bench and play extended minutes if you need him to.
Coach, we were talking earlier before you got here. I really like the guard rotations with Tony and Josh starting the game, and then you bring in the quicker, more racehorse Desante Bowen and Brock Harding. Is that by design, or is that just the way it's worked out with Patrick's injury? Yeah,
with Patrick's injury, it was, I think, pretty apparent that we were going to go with Josh, and he's earned it and has played well. The other two guys deserve to play. As I said before, I would like to play them more. But, Tony and Josh are playing really well, and so we kind of play them closer to 30 minutes. Don't have to play them 38, 39, but we'll keep playing it that way and try to work Price in there.
How about a couple early keys for Maryland then on Wednesday night, the matchups? Iowa.
Well, you got to contain Young. I mean, he had 36 the other day. He's had 30 points the last 4 road games. He said he's averaged 30. So he's a handful. Reese, not only is he an offensive threat, he's a shot blocker. So you got to deal with him. And then Scott. So you're thinking about those 3 guys, the 3 veteran guys, old guys. They can score. They can make plays. They're not afraid. They don't rattle. They don't rattle on the road. So the other guys, are X-factor guys. They're all good players. They could all have big games. So you got to make sure you lock into those 3, but also pay attention to the other guys.
Coach, do they press a lot? Or did I just see a game that they did press?
No, they pressed.
Yeah.
They 2-2-1.
3-quarter court. They're just kind of harassing.
And they mix it up. Sometimes it's a little more contained. Sometimes it's a little more aggressive. Sometimes it appears to the offensive player that they're in man-to-man. They'll run and jump. They trust their athleticism and their length. Try to get you sideways, and so you got to handle the press.
Yeah, you got to handle the press.
And then get the ball down the floor, and then you have less time. And then sometimes they usually go back into a zone, and then maybe they'll go man by the end of the possession.
Got about 30 seconds left. I was watching that game yesterday. I thought of Sherman. They honored Lefty Drizel. Lefty had a recorded message. He wasn't there in person, but boy, I thought back to my days of watching him coach at Maryland in the old field house. What a treat.
Terrific guy. I mean, I used to work his camp for many years. They recruited me, so I got to know him there. And then would work his camp. They invited me down. That's where we used to play, and that's how I got to know Sherman. But I always really liked him, and then I got to know Chuck, his son, who was a camper, ended up being Luka Garza's high school coach.
Oh, wow.
So
small world.
It really helped us get Luka.
See you Wednesday.
See you Wednesday, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Coach McCaffrey, thanks for coming out to the Hyatt Regency tonight, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk on Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Pregame coverage, Iowa, Maryland. And until then, go Hawks. Good night.
On the Hawkeyes Sports Network from Learfield, live from the Hyatt Regency, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, brought to you by Authentic Brand, the premium label of choice. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. By your local Ford dealers. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with the new Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Bank. Proud to support Iowa basketball. U.S. Bank. Equal housing lender, member FDIC. And by U.S. Cellular. Built for the Hawkeyes. Built for silencing notifications and turning up the noise. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.